Hey guys, this is part 2 of NAP. We're talking about Dandelions and Emily Dickinson. I'm going to learn where I'm supposed to look on this camera. Okay, so we're here at the outdoor classroom and Henley is over here. He is working on the assignment, which is how to draw a dandelion and the seedling of a dandelion. So I'm going to show you the chalkboard and you can take a look at it for just a second. And it shows you the different stages. As you can tell, we're starting with, you draw this one and then you add to it. You're not going to do every single one of these.
Oh, I didn't know.
This is step 1. You do this. And then this is already here, so you add the yellow pieces. And on step 3, you're going to add this little part of the dandelion. And then you're going to add the stem. And then there's these lines here, and that's the actual dandelion flower. Of course, my word is backwards, so check with mom and dad on how to write dandelion. And then over here is going to be the seedling. So you start out with just the line of the stem, and you add this little white part, and then you add a little dot right there. Then you're going to do the shoop, 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 shoops. Oops, where am I? Okay, it's almost like a firecracker here. And then here are like the little dots, and these are the little fly away things. All those are very technical terms. But anyway, so I'm going to show you it one more time, and you can work on drawing that as I read to you. And I'll try and keep that in the background as I'm reading so that you can see for your drawing. Hopefully you went and explored somewhere and saw something new. If you didn't, then you can do it after you watch this video. All right. So I want to read just a little bit to you about Emily Dickinson. Each time we talk about her, we give a little more information about her. And for sure, of course, I want to show you, we've got her name on the board over here. Emily Dickinson, of course it's backwards. She was born in 1830 and she died in 1886. And remember, we've talked about Emily as being someone who, she kind of stayed to herself. She really didn't like to go out much, and it was more extreme the older she got. So I wanted to read a little bit to you about her story. All right. The more Emily stayed by herself, the more curious people in town became about her. Some made up stories about Emily to explain her odd ways. Others came to the door with little gifts just to see if they could get a glimpse of Emily. But Emily saw only those she chose to see. Vinny always talked to visitors, but protected Emily from the curious. The family did not understand Emily's need to be away from the world, but they respected her wishes. Her nieces and nephews and the neighborhood children didn't seem to mind that Emily was different. They loved to play in her yard. Sometimes she worked in the garden and watched them from there or the window. When Emily waved her arms to signal, play stopped. Then she would open the window and lower a basket filled with warm gingerbread, cookies, and raisins by a knotted cord. Now there's an idea. Her nephew, Ned, called Emily his best friend. And once, when her niece, Maddie, was angry with a playmate, Maddie yelled the worst thing she could think of. "You haven't got an Aunt Emily." Over the years, Emily taught herself to write poetry by writing and writing and writing. After most people had gone to bed, Emily sat up writing. Emily wrote extraordinary things. She lived in possibility. Surprises, sunsets, the moon, shadows on the lawn, storms, and bees were in her poems. But the sun didn't just rise, it rose a ribbon at a time. The moon could show a chin of gold or slide down a chair. A sunset wasn't just pretty colors, it was a woman sleeping with many brooms, each a different color that left a few shreds or straw behind. Hills could unite bonnets. With Emily's imagination, lightning displayed a yellow beak and ugly blue claws. A maple tree wore a gay scarf. Birds didn't fly, they unrolled their feathers and rode home. Her poems about flowers, butterflies, and bees revealed the delight she took in nature and her keen sense of the funny side of things. So she wrote a lot about nature. In this time that you guys are getting to be with family and you're getting to be home, really use this time to explore what God has created. And maybe you're a poet in the making. And maybe you could try your hand and remember what it said about Emily. She wrote over and over and over again. She didn't just, here's a poem and it's perfect. She kept trying. So really look around yourself and explore. I've got a poem to leave you with, actually two, but one is about flowers. It goes along with looking at our dandelion. And I would like if you're not drawing, I'd like you to close your eyes as I read this poem and really think about the meaning. I hide myself within my flower, that wearing on your breast you, unsuspecting, wear me too, and angels know the rest. I hide myself within my flower, that fading from your vase, you, unsuspecting, feel for me almost a loneliness. I dwell in possibility, a fairer house than prose, more numerous of windows, superior of doors, of chambers as the cedars, impregnable of eye, and for an everlasting roof, the gables of the sky. Of visitors, the fairest, for occupation this, the spreading wide my narrow hands, together paradise. So if you need to hear that again, you can rewind the video a little bit and think about it and talk about it with your parents and with your family and or with each other, your siblings, and think about what the meaning is. What is she talking about? And really just enjoy the words that she wrote, all right? I've got one more to leave you with that I was inspired by today that I saw. So I'm going to read it to you. I was actually going to read it like this, but I'm actually just going to look at it because the words are backwards. It's not going to help you. Oh, Henley wants to show us his dandelion. All right. Can I see it? Can you show him? I can't see if it's on the page or not. Good job, Henley. Can you hold the wind? The wind was blowing it. Man, that's a great challenge. Good job. I'd love to see y'all's dandelions as well, or whatever you end up nature drawing. So I'm gonna leave you with this poem. It's a poem that she's famous for. It's a quote that often people talk about Emily whenever they're referring to her. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chilliest land and on the strangest sea, yet never, in extremity, it asked a crumb of me.